I woke up beside a vampire nurse. She giggled softly and said you held my hand all night. Elia's ward woke slowly, like someone surfacing from deep water. The first thing he felt was warmth around his hand. Not the sharp pain he expected, not the cold metal of a medical bed, but a steady, gentle warmth. His fingers twitched and something squeezed back, careful and light. The second thing he noticed was the quiet. No alarms, no shouting, no distant rumble of weapons. Just a soft hum like a ship breathing. Elias opened his eyes. The ceiling above him was curved and pale, glowing with low blue light. He recognized none of the symbols along the edges. This was not a human ship. His body stiffened, and pain flared across his chest and shoulder, sharp enough to steal his breath. "Easy," a voice said softly. He turned his head. Sitting beside his bed was a woman with skin as pale as moonlight and hair as dark as space beyond the hull. Her eyes were red, not glowing, but deep and reflective like polished stone. She wore a simple medical uniform, gray and white, with a symbol he had only seen in threat briefings. A nocturne, a vampire. Elias' breath caught. His instincts screamed at him to pull away, to fight, to run. But his body was weak, and before he could move, the pain surged again. His grip tightened without thought. The vampire nurse looked down at their joined hands and then laughed softly. It was a small sound, surprised, almost shy. "You are awake," she said. "That is good. You held my hand all night." Elias stared at her, confused. His mind tried to fit this moment into everything he knew about the galaxy. Nocturnes fed on fear. They were calm, distant, and dangerous. Hospitals staffed by them were designed to keep patients afraid enough to remain quiet and obedient. This was not how it was supposed to go. What?" Elias said. His voice sounded dry and distant, like it belonged to someone else. She tilted her head, studying him with professional focus and something else he could not name. "Every time the pain increased, your hand tightened. When I tried to pull away, you followed, so I stayed." "You didn't mind?" he asked. Her red eyes flicked back to their hands. "I should have," she said honestly, "but you were not afraid. That made it strange." Elias swallowed. He remembered flashes now, fire tearing through the corridor, the alien vessel breaking formation, the order to retreat coming too late. He remembered dragging two crewmates toward an escape pod while alarms screamed and gravity failed. "How long?" he asked. 8 hours, she replied. "Your injuries were severe, internal bleeding, nerve trauma, human bodies are fragile." He let out a weak breath. "Yeah. We get that a lot." She smiled again, just slightly. "I am Seraphine." "Elias," he said. "Commander, or was." Seraphine's expression softened. "Your rank was noted. You are in a neutral medical station. Your people agreed to nocturne care." "That's new," Elias muttered. "It is new for us as well," she said. She adjusted a monitor beside the bed. Symbols scrolled across it, translating into human numbers as she worked. Her movements were smooth, careful. She never let go of his hand. "You should be afraid," she said suddenly. Elias frowned. "Is that a threat?" "No," she replied. "An observation. Most patients are. Fear calms them, it feeds us, it makes the pain easier to manage." "And me?" "You apologized when you screamed," she said. "You asked if I was tired." Elias blinked. "Did I?" "Yes." Her voice dropped. "No one has ever asked me that." The pain in his chest flared again, and he sucked in a breath. Without thinking, he squeezed her hand. She stiffened for a fraction of a second, then relaxed. "You don't smell like fear," she said quietly. "Even now." "What do I smell like?" he asked. She hesitated. "Like resolve, like someone standing watch." That made something heavy settle in Elias' chest. He stared at the ceiling. "I was trained to stay awake when others slept," he said. "Guess the habit stuck." Hours passed in slow pieces. Seraphine checked his vitals, adjusted medication, and explained his injuries in simple terms. He listened, drifting in and out of sleep. Each time pain pulled him back, his hand found hers again. Other staff began to come by more often. They lingered near the door, watching. Elias felt their eyes on him even when he pretended to sleep. Tall figures with the same pale skin and red eyes. Nocturne physicians, orderlies, observers. Seraphine grew tense. "They are curious," she said when he asked. "About me?" Elias said. "Yes, humans are inconsistent. Some fear us deeply, some hide it poorly. You do neither." "I'm scared," Elias said. "I just don't see the point in letting it run things." Seraphine studied his face, searching for something. "That is not how fear works for us." "What happens if I don't start being useful?" he asked. She did not answer right away. Later, a tall nocturne male entered the room. His presence was heavier than the others, like gravity had thickened around him. He did not smile. "Commander Ward," he said, "I am Dr. Valen." Elias met his gaze. "Am I in trouble?" Valen's lips curved slightly. "You are an anomaly. That figures." "You have shown no fear response under nocturne care," Valen continued. "Your emotional state disrupts our medical systems. You exhaust my staff." Seraphine's fingers tightened around Elias's. "That sounds like a you problem," Elias said calmly. Valen looked at their hands, his eyes narrowed. "This bond is inappropriate." "He needed stability," Seraphine said quickly. "I provided it." "You violated protocol," Valen said. "I did my job," she replied. Valen turned back to Elias. "You will be transferred to a secure ward for further observation." Elias felt a flicker of anger, then sharp and focused. "No," he said. The room went silent. "No," Valen repeated. "You move me," Elias said. "You risk killing me. You said it yourself. Human bodies are fragile." Valen stared at him, searching for fear. There was none to find. Finally, he inclined his head. "Temporary delay," he said, "but this will be studied." After he left, Seraphine exhaled slowly. "I'm sorry," Elias said. She looked at him, surprised. "For what?" "For making your life harder." She smiled, tired but real. "You made it quieter," she said. "That is not the same thing." When the lights dimmed to station night cycle, Elias drifted toward sleep again. The pain was dull now, distant. He could hear voices outside arguing softly. "They do not understand you," Seraphine whispered. "That makes us even," Elias murmured. He felt her thumb brush lightly against his hand, almost human. "You are dangerous," she said. "Not because you fight, but because you stay." Elias did not reply. He was already asleep. Seraphine stayed anyway. The station did not sleep, but it did slow. Lights dimmed. Foot traffic softened. Machines whispered instead of hummed. Elias Ward slept through most of it, his breathing steady, his grip loose but unbroken. Seraphine remained beside him. She had stayed through many nights before. She had watched patients tremble, plead, curse, and beg. She had learned to measure fear like a vital sign. Increase dosage, lower lights, maintain distance, feed just enough to keep herself sharp. This night was different. When Elias slept, his mind did not cry out. There were no sharp spikes of panic, no taste of terror in the air. Instead, there was a strange calm, like a watch fire burning low but steady. It unsettled her more than fear ever had. At the start of the next cycle, Dr. Valen returned. He stood at the doorway for a long moment, observing. Elias slept. Seraphine sat straight-backed, alert, her hand still lightly resting near his. "You have not fed," Valen said. Seraphine did not look at him. "I am functional. You are exhausted." "Yes." "That is unacceptable." She finally turned. "So is harming a patient." Valen stepped closer. His presence pressed against the room like a storm cloud. "He is not harmed, he is altered. Humans should not remain calm in our care." "Yet he does. That makes him dangerous." Seraphine's jaw tightened. "He is injured, he is kind, he is not a threat." Valen's eyes flicked to Elias' face. "All threats begin small." Elias stirred, waking slowly. He opened his eyes and found Valen standing over him. "You always loom like that," Elias said. "Or is that just for me?" Valen did not react. "Commander Ward." "You will answer questions." "Do I get painkillers first?" Elias asked. Seraphine moved before Valen could respond, adjusting the drip. Elias sighed in relief. Valen watched this, displeasure clear. You are influencing my staff. I hold hands, Elias said simply. It's a human thing. Valen studied him closely. You weaken them. No, Elias replied. I think I remind them they don't have to be monsters. That word rippled through the room. Seraphine froze. Valen's voice lowered. Careful. I don't mean it as an insult, Elias said. Just a description. You were shaped by fear. That's not your fault. Enough, Valen said sharply. You will be transferred today. Seraphine stepped between them. He is not stable. He will survive, Valen said. Or he will not. Either way, we learn. Elias felt anger then, hot and focused. He pushed himself up despite the pain. His muscles shook, but he did not back down. You don't need to do this, he said. We didn't come here to fight you. You came to our station, Valen replied. You brought disruption. We bring connection, Elias said, whether you want it or not. Valen stared at him for a long moment. Then he turned and left. Within hours, the ward changed. Nocturne staff moved with sharp efficiency. Equipment was repositioned. Seraphine's access was restricted. Elias was surrounded by watchers, silent and tense. But something else had changed too. Other patients began to notice. A human woman across the ward reached out and took a Nocturne orderly's hand when her breathing grew ragged. A child stopped crying when a nurse stayed instead of stepping back. Fear levels dropped. Feeding cycles failed. The Nocturnes grew weaker. Whispers spread. This is unsustainable. They are draining us without feeding us. They are changing us. A council was called. Elias was wheeled into a chamber carved of dark crystal and pale light. He lay on the bed, bruised and tired, but awake. Seraphine stood behind him, hands clasped, eyes wary. Elders ringed the room. Valen spoke first. Humans disrupt our equilibrium. Their emotional resilience nullifies our biological advantage. One elder leaned forward. Then remove them. They will die, another said, and their kind will respond. War, a third murmured. Over patience. Elias cleared his throat. The sound echoed louder than expected. You're afraid, he said. Several elders hissed softly. You think we don't see it, Elias continued. But fear isn't just something you feed on, it's something you live with. Silence. You built a whole society around it, he said. Predator and prey, care and control. But when fear stops working, what's left? Seraphine felt something shift inside her, a question she had never allowed herself to ask. What do you want? Valen demanded. Elias met his gaze. To heal, to go home, and to leave you better than we found you. The elders murmured. You weaken us, one said. No, Elias replied. We show you another way. Valen shook his head. They will spread. Humans will sit with our young, with our wounded, with our dying, and they will not be afraid. That is unacceptable, an elder snapped. That is inevitable, Elias said. The council debated for hours. Elias drifted in and out, pain dull but constant. Through it all, Seraphine stayed close, her presence steady. At last, a decision was reached. Humans would be released. Nocturne hospitals would be closed to them. Contact would be limited. Elias was escorted back to the ward. Seraphine helped him sit up. They are afraid of you, she said quietly. We get that a lot too, Elias replied. When the discharge shuttle arrived, Elias stood with effort. He turned to Seraphine, unsure what to say. Thank you, he said finally, for staying. She nodded. You changed everything. I didn't mean to, he said. That is why it worked. As he turned to leave, Seraphine reached out and took his hand. Her grip trembled. I am afraid, she admitted. Elias squeezed back, gentle and sure. That's okay, he said. You don't have to face it alone. The shuttle doors closed. Weeks later, reports spread across the galaxy. Nocturne birth rates dropped. Feeding rituals failed, yet violence decreased. Young Nocturnes sat with the sick instead of hunting. Elders argued less, listened more. Humans became known by a new name, the ones who stay. And somewhere in a quiet medical ward, a vampire nurse held a memory close, and the dark felt a little less hungry. The galaxy did not change all at once. It never did. Change came in small moments, quiet decisions and long nights where someone chose to stay instead of leaving. Seraphine learned this slowly. After Elia's ward left the station, the medical wing felt emptier than it ever had. Not quieter, machines still hummed, patients still breathed, staff still moved, but something important was missing. Fear returned, but it felt thin, weak, like an echo of something that had already passed. Seraphine continued her duties. She treated the injured. She monitored vitals. She followed protocol, but she no longer fed the way she once had. When fear rose in a patient, she felt it, tasted it faintly, and turned away. The elders noticed. "You are deteriorating," Dr. Valen said during a private review. "Your efficiency has dropped." "I am adapting," Seraphine replied. "You are starving yourself." "No," she said calmly, "I am choosing." That word spread among the nocturnes like a spark in dry air. Choosing. For the first time in their long history, nocturnes began to ask what they were without fear. The question frightened them more than any prey ever had. Meanwhile, humanity did not forget. Elias returned to human space a different man. His body healed faster than expected. His superiors debriefed him for hours, then days. They asked about nocturne biology, hospital layouts, command structures. They did not expect his answers. "They're not monsters," Elias said again and again. "They're people who were never shown another way." Some listened. Some didn't. But humans are stubborn creatures. The idea spread anyway. Human diplomats began requesting nocturne meetings in neutral zones. Human doctors volunteered for joint medical missions. Human civilians wrote stories, not about blood-drinking horrors, but about quiet nurses who stayed through the night. Fear did not vanish, but it loosened its grip. On a distant outpost station, Seraphine encountered a human child for the first time since Elias left. The boy was injured, his leg broken, his face pale with pain. When she approached, she prepared herself for the familiar surge of fear. It did not come. Instead, the child looked at her and said, "Are you tired?" The words struck her harder than any weapon. "Yes," she admitted. The child reached out his small hand. "My mom says holding hands helps." Seraphine hesitated. Then she sat down. Across nocturne space, similar moments unfolded. Young nurses stayed longer with patients. Orderlies spoke softly instead of looming. Elders found themselves isolated, their authority weakened not by rebellion but by gentleness. Some nocturnes resisted. "There will be famine," they warned. "We will weaken." And they did. But something else happened too. Nocturnes who stopped feeding on fear began to change. Their senses dulled slightly, but their minds sharpened. Emotions they had long suppressed surfaced: curiosity, empathy, even humor. They slept differently. They dreamed. Seraphine dreamed of firelight and steady breathing, of a human hand, warm and unafraid. Years passed. Humanity expanded as it always did. Not through conquest, but through presence. Wherever humans went, they built places to sit, cafes, clinics, waiting rooms. They stayed during storms. They stayed during mourning. They stayed when others fled. Alien species took notice. The Carthi, who fed on obedience, found humans difficult to control. The Velis, who thrived on hierarchy, found humans frustratingly equal. The Nocturnes, once feared across the galaxy, found themselves learning. Elias followed the reports closely. He never returned to the battlefield. Instead, he served as an advisor, then a liaison. He spoke carefully, plainly. He never insulted. He never threatened. He told the same story every time. "I was hurt," he said. "Someone stayed. That was enough." One day, a message arrived from a neutral station. A request. "Nocturne medical delegation seeks human observer." Elias smiled. When he stepped onto the station months later, the air felt different, softer, the lights warmer. He walked through the medical wing and stopped. Seraphine stood at the center, directing staff, human, nocturne, and others working together. She saw him. For a moment, neither moved. Then she walked over slowly and held out her hand. "You came back," she said. "I said I would," Elias replied. You were never afraid, she said. I was, he corrected gently. I just didn't let it decide who I was. They stood together as patience passed by, fear low, hope quiet but real. The galaxy did not call humanity conquerors. It called them something else, those who stay. And for the first time in history, the dark did not feel like an enemy. It felt like a place someone could sit in until the light came on. The first sign that something was wrong did not come with alarms or weapons. It came with silence. Elias noticed it during his third week on the station. The medical wing was busy, full of different species moving together, but a certain kind of sound was missing. There were fewer sharp breaths, fewer trembling voices, less fear. For most places, that would be a good thing. For the galaxy, it was dangerous. Seraphine sensed it too. She stood beside Elias, watching a group of patients rest quietly. Nocturne nurses moved among them, calm but strained. They were thinner now, their movements slower. We are changing too fast, she said softly. Elias nodded. Fast change always scares people. It scares predators more, she replied. The elders had not disappeared. They had simply gone quiet. That silence worried Elias more than open anger ever could. The warning came a day later. A ship arrived without clearance. Old design, nocturne make. It docked at the far end of the station, far from the shared wards. Seraphine felt it the moment it arrived. Fear spiked not from patients but from her own kind. They've come, she whispered. Who? Elias asked. The pure, she said. Those who believe fear is sacred. Elias' jaw tightened. Extremists? Yes, Seraphine said. They believe humans are erasing us. Security meetings followed. Humans wanted to prepare defenses. Other species argued for evacuation. The Nocturne elders said nothing. Then the pure made their move. They did not attack the station. They shut down the lights. Emergency systems kicked in, bathing corridors in red glow. Patients stirred. Fear rose like smoke. The pure broadcast their message on every channel. You weaken us, the voice said. You teach us to starve. You sit in our darkness and call it kindness. Elias stood in the command center, listening. We will take our future back, the voice continued. We will remind the galaxy what fear is for. Seraphine closed her eyes. They plan to feed, she said. On a scale we have not seen in centuries. Elias felt the weight of it settle in his chest. On civilians, yes. Human commanders began issuing orders, evacuation routes, defensive lines. Elias raised his hand. Wait, they stared at him. This won't be stopped with guns, he said. If we fight them, we prove their point. And if we do, a captain asked. Elias looked at the darkened station feeds. Then we stay. Seraphine turned to him sharply. Elias, they're afraid, he said. Same as everyone else who's ever hurt someone. That fear will kill us, she said, not if we don't feed it. The pure moved through the lower levels, drawing fear deliberately. Lights flickered. Alarms sounded. They wanted panic, but something unexpected happened. Humans sat down, in corridors, in wards, in shelters. They gathered patients close, spoke calmly, held hands. They did not run. They did not scream. Other species followed, unsure but trusting. Fear rose, then stalled. The pure pushed harder. They entered a ward where Seraphine stood with a group of injured patients. Their eyes burned red, sharp and hungry. Step aside, their leader said. You have forgotten who you are. Seraphine felt the old pull, the hunger, the instinct. Then she felt something else. A small hand took hers. A human woman, shaking but steady, looked up at her. Please, she said. Stay. Seraphine stayed. Around the station, similar moments unfolded. The pure found fear, but it was thin, shared, supported. It did not spike. It did not break. They grew frantic. Elias walked openly through the station, unarmed. Security tried to stop him. He waved them off. They won't touch me, he said. Not like this. He found the pure leader in a dark atrium. You should be terrified, the Nocturne said. I am, Elias replied, but I'm not alone. The leader sneered. You think sitting together makes you strong? No, Elias said, it makes us patient. You are killing us, the pure hissed. Elias shook his head. You're scared of starving. That doesn't make you evil, it makes you desperate. The leader faltered. You don't have to go back, Elias said. You can sit too. For a long moment nothing happened. Then the leader's shoulders sagged, the pure retreated, not in defeat but in confusion. Power was restored slowly. The station breathed again. The elders emerged at last. They did not punish. They did not praise, they asked questions. Weeks later, a new agreement formed. Nocturnes would learn alternative sustenance, emotional exchange, shared vigilance, purpose. It was not easy, many left. Some could not adapt, but many stayed. Seraphine stood beside Elias as the station returned to normal. You were right, she said. Staying changed everything. Elias smiled faintly. It always does. The galaxy watched closely and learned a dangerous truth. Humanity did not conquer fear, it made room for it. And in that space, monsters forgot how to exist.